Hello and welcome to another edition of the Wildcat Walkthrough. I am Cedric Bailey, along with the head coach of the Dunbar Wildcats, Coach Todd Lawson. Hello, Coach. How you doing?
Hello, Cedric. How you doing this morning?
I am doing great and glad to be with you today. First of all, congratulations on your win over the Ponder Lions.
Oh yeah, that was a big win. It was a big win for us get in the win column and for the kids to play the way that they did and fight to the end. That was a great job.
Well, let's talk about some of the things that you like the most about that game.
Well, really, the things was seeing our defensive. We had our defensive end had. Our defensive tackle, Dunbar. I go-to guy, captain of the defense. He had to sit out due to some altercation that he had the week before. So we kind of had a bunch of sophomores in, and they played real well that first half. They really shut them down and did real well. So that really give us some promise to look at some of our young guys who really stepped up to the task of coming in there playing the game until Dunbar will be able to re-enter the game. Was able to see Ben did a great job. Ben had over 100 and some odd yards, had 137 yards on 23 carries with the touchdown. So he did a great job at kind of getting him, springing him out there. And then JD was able to relieve him. They ended up with 50-something yards on 10. So he averaged over 5 yards a carry. So that was a good break to give him out there. And then to see our quarterback play real well. He had some turnovers early in the game, but he was able to kind of turn it around and kind of come on and threw for 180 something yards at a like 65% completion rate. So that was a big deal for him as well. So you had quite a bit of guys that step up. Offensive line did a lot better. We're looking to improve this week coming up as well.
You know what? You're absolutely right on that, on the offensive line, and first, let me go back a step. You said that Ben had 137 yards. Is that what you said?
Something like Yes, 137. Yes.
There was a possibility he could have had a 200-yard game.
Yeah, exactly.
They called a touchdown back.
We had that long callback that was late in the game on that. And again, watching our kids deal with the adversity, that would have sealed the game where we wouldn't have had to have that field goal. And but the kids to kind of come back, regroup, and then drive on down the field and get the field goal to win the game. So that shows a lot to the kids. And we just told them, hey man, that's how you stick together and play together as one.
There was a couple of times, speaking of the offensive line, let's call these guys' name out. Ben, I don't know what he's doing. He's riding, hanging on somebody.
Yeah. There's some big guys in front of him. At the center we have Marcelino, which he's been starting for me since his ninth grade year, and he's a senior this year. And at the guards we have Sean Douglas, which he's a senior, but this is his first year starting at that. And then at the other guard we had a sophomore in now, which is Ja'Cory Moore. I'm sorry, Moore. Is at that guard, and then at the right tackle we have Orlando, which is a senior. Then at the left tackle we have Zion Williams, which is a big kid. He's a sophomore, which he's a 6'7" kid, 6'7", 340. So he's kind of coming into his own. We just pushing for him to be a little bit more physical and things like that. So they coming around. I hope we can just continue to gel. And then our center went down a little bit. Then we had a Tony Green step in and did a great job where you probably didn't even know it wasn't no bad snaps or anything like that. So he stepped right in and did a great job. So it was some guys stepped in at very crucial times and really, really helped the team.
Yeah, you're right about that. They did have a moment or two, and I was up there calling the game. I said, they coming in on the left side. I said, nobody touched him. What's going on?
Yeah. So they had that, and they were just Ponder coach did a great job. He was kind of anticipating. When he anticipated, we had to make sure. When he anticipated, we had to make sure that we got back to the line because he brought the house, and he did a great job. He did a great job at anticipating what we were going to do, and then it was just good to see how our kids reacted to it, and just kept competing.
They made a change at half. Y'all were up 14-0. And then they brought in another sophomore quarterback. They first started with number 4. I think his name was Gage. And then they came in there with Taylor, who was number 3. I mean, and he was a little different. It was like when he on his first drive, y'all had him, but then all of a sudden he just found his receiver. I said, we got a ball game. So y'all had to make a
And really, we held that. Now that's a kid. That's one of the top receivers that was. Well, that is their top receiver. See, he had over 1,500 yards last year. And so we knew it was just a matter of time. We were doing a good job, and then whether coach was gonna kind of counter what we were doing. So, but when he did make those catches, we had Antoine, which was our best corner, which is our best corner, was on him. Just like we just told him, man, they gonna make a spectacular play, just tackle him or push him out of bounds. So it's kind of some little breakdowns in his technique of how he needs to defend that. But I think he got that under control. But that's one thing about a cornerback. Sometimes guys gonna make plays on you. Is how you come back. And he made a couple of plays on Antoine, but Antoine kept competing with it.
Yeah, he did. Now let's talk about, of course, that last drive to get in for the touchdown, because it was like it was first and goal at the 9, and then you got to the 5. You had one timeout left. You had to use it. What was going on through your mind as your staff was talking how to close and get this game?
It was we ended up using it last time out. It was kind of and that's good. We had Brighton at the quarterback, which is he's a 4.0 student. So we was able to give him multiple things that we wanted to do in case scenarios. And he was able to, and he really pulled through. That showed a great deal. And that was a good opportunity as a teaching moment where my younger quarterbacks who was there could kind of listen in and hear what the situation was. We told them, hey man, we didn't have a chance. We're gonna take a shot at the end zone, and we got to make sure we don't give up a sack. If the throw is not wide open, just throw it out the back of the end zone, and we'll go for the extra point. So don't try to be the hero. If it's open, take it. If not, just throw it out the end zone, and we'll kick the field goal. And we already knew because they had ran off. By us getting that penalty, they ran off.
Yeah, 10-second rule.
Yeah, that 10 seconds. So they got that. They really knocked us down, which was fine. And we knew we wasn't gonna run another play. So we knew we had that one play that we were gonna try. If that didn't work, we was good. We're going with the field goal.
Yeah, and Dunbar is not known for kicking field goals to win a game. So tell us about your field goal kicker.
Yeah, Jordan, man. I was looking for him all week. We lost communication with him all week. So I was my soccer coach was out this week due to COVID. So they and our kickers come in, they're all playing select soccer and stuff like that. So they come in on definitely our special team days and stuff like that. They know Tuesday is a big special team day, and then our pregame stuff. So he was there on Tuesday, and we missed him out on that other day. Then we had the day that we was out of school. So it was great that we was able to get in contact with him, and he was saying he was going to already be there. So, but just that nervousness run through. But he's coming through. He's a good kicker. He's a good kicker. And when it was funny because we were sitting there when they tried to ice him, and we were sitting there laughing because we like, I don't really even think he even know what the situation is, And I remember the quarterback went over there to talk to him, and I just told him, "No, man, get away from him because he don't even know the importance of this kick. He just sitting there just staring at the ground. So that's a good situation to be in because he was just like, oh, it's just another kick in practice. That's the way you have to go about it. But that was a great job on his part to get there and nail it.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, it was amazing. And I said, well, Brighton, he made that happen, and your center. So that's what it is. You got to repeat. I don't care.
Yeah. And they had to have a good snap, had to have a good hold and everything. Everything just came together.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk about ODY. That game is on this coming Friday, and it's at Scarborough Hanley Field. They played against Joshua. They won. So they've won 2 games, and you guys are 1-1. So what does Coach Zach got going on over there in Chaparral?
Zach got he got some guys. He got a very good, very potent offense. He got a real good quarterback. That's probably gonna be one of the best quarterbacks that we're going to face this year. He can throw that ball, and he'll drop back, and if he breaks containment, he'll sling that ball. He'll sling it downfield. So we got to make sure our people are staying covered, and just like last year, we got to make sure we take care of our responsibility, and hopefully we can push them into making some mistakes. Now they defensive. Now I'm looking at their defense as more of a concern of me because of the athletic ability, their aggressiveness, and how they get to the ball. So that's my biggest thing is can our linemen withstand the quickness and aggressiveness to get to the ball? So that worries me a lot. As far as the offense, we faced them a few times, over the years, and we faced that quarterback. It just comes down to our secondary playing the position that they're supposed to be playing, and our defense trying to get our defensive line trying to get a little pressure on.
They know each other real well because some of them probably went to school at Morningside or Forest Oak. And what are the other feeder schools that go into Dunbar and then Wyatt?
Well, right. Dunbar just have Jack K Middle, which is right there across the street from. But Wyatt for sure have Morningside, and then I get a few of the kids from Rosemont and Forest Oak. Forest Oak is a big feeder for them as well. So they getting a little branch there at Morningside, man. That's where Brighton went to school with those guys over at Morningside.
Yeah.
So he knows all those guys. Those guys knows us real well. So we see those kids a lot and stuff like that. So it's gonna be a good game. It's gonna be a real good game.
You know, I want to tell you something. I was watching a video of Coach Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, and you know what he says? He says on there, I got my kids ready by playing football in the Fort Worth Pee Wee League. You know, they play over there by the prison and everything.
They played a few games. Yeah, they played a few games over in this area. Because I don't know if you remember during that time, he had an elementary school that they had opened up right down
Prime Prep.
Yeah, that was open right over there. So a lot of these kids, and that's what people don't understand. A lot of these kids, and like the Earl that's over at TCU. See, all of them came through that league. All of them. So I got a chance to see a lot of those kids play through that league like that. So, and that's just a father playing a big role in his son's life and athletics and things like that of that nature, man, having a hand in on it because, keeping your hand on where they can't really get the big head, but understanding the growth of learning how to play the game and to understand the game. And that's the big thing.
Yeah. And, I want to say this going back to him. I mean, he had a plan. And the most important thing was he has a staff. You didn't see just people hanging on the sideline. They were standing right next to their coaches. You had coaches in different positions, and they were paying attention. So what can we learn from what he's doing with them in Colorado and what you're doing with your guys here too as well at Dunbar? I mean, what can we learn from this, Coach?
Well, trying to get our kids to understand it's a thinking process. People just think, oh, you just roll that football out there and you just go play. And, I had a talk with a parent, a parent was saying now, about their kid should be playing a different position. We told them, hey, I showed them the film of them playing a position that they felt like that individual should be playing. And it's like, do you want him at that position where he's uncomfortable in space? He's not, or you want him at this position where you can see the big difference where he's really enjoying it and he's getting after it and stuff like that. I say now, hey, we're going by what's going to make your kid more successful. And that's a big part of it. And that's something that I preach to the kids every single day is, man, you may not be the best of student up there, but you doggone better be the best of student when you come out here because there's going to be a lot of coaching. And I was telling them, I said, if y'all let this game be close when we're playing against Ponder, then you're going to see coaches go to work and you have kids that are attentive. And a lot of people say discipline, but the kids are attentive to understand and learning the game where you can go out and make really adjustments on the fly. And that's something that we have to really, really, really push with our kids to understand the game. They'll say, yes, sir, I understand it. But then you walk right out there in the field 2 seconds later and do the same thing that I was over here discussing with you. So we really talking with our kids is performing the task of what your coach asks of you to do. And then, I play the bag and I go back. I say, hey, this is what the coach did for you. And this is what you need to do. Case in point, the JV game, we asked the kid, to do a stop and go route. The kid ran out there and did a stop and a stop, it's just performing that task. And, back in the day, like I say, we grew up where people wanted to hire athletes because they knew that we knew how to perform that task. They didn't matter how good you was. What was asked of you, this is what you need to be doing at a certain time, and you was able to follow that plan. And that's why I'll be telling my kids that we're working really diligent to get our kids to understand that part of it. And a lot of them are coming through with it. If we can get to that point, we'll be making a big step, big strides, and being a lot better.
You know what? I was going to ask you. You also have multiple players at two-way positions for you. Who are some of the guys that play on offense and defense too as well?
Well, you know, normally the only guys that we don't have that go both ways is pretty much our offensive line, defensive line. Really the guys like you know, Ben and JD. We kind of switched them guys off on defense, so whichever one is starting on offense, we'll use the other one on defense. But you know, there's a time come up when you see both of them on that side of the defense, because both of them are very good defensive players. And then when we go with our two back, both of them are starting on the offensive side. So those are pretty much really the two that deals with that. But we kind of shuffling other guys in there, like King are going at cornerback. You have Marcus,
King,
who's the
he's number
starting.
three. He's number
Yes.
3, right? Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, you have Marcus, who's the starting receiver. We play him back and forth at the free. So we kind of get in there, and we know when we start giving guys breaks and stuff like that, we're pulling guys that are coming in from that offensive side of the ball, and they can play it. We just have to make sure and let the coaches know that we got to make sure we don't run them in the dirt, because you'll see Ben may make a good run, or he may even make a 7-yard run, but he's had to break 3 or 4 tackles. JD, I already know JD's going in. You just give him a break where we're not just wearing them down to late in the game where, we on fumes and we just don't have anything to give. So that's my biggest fear, that we stay in a close game and we just don't have it to give at the end because we played them all out. So we're trying to make sure that we do that. And pretty much, see, I have 38 on the roster.
Yeah.
So, that's more than I have. Some should be down, should be still playing down a little bit longer, but we need those extra bodies and letting, be able to get those guys in a couple of plays, spot them in there and get them out and get those other guys in just to give them a break helps a great deal.
All right. You've been listening to the Wildcat Walkthrough with Coach Todd Lawson here on the BGC Sports Network. Coach, looking forward to this game on this Friday night. We're going to be at Hanley Field. It's ODY versus, of course, the Dunbar Wildcats, and I know the fans are going to be just talking noise. So I'm excited, Coach.
Oh, yeah, it's coming. It's coming. It's coming.
All right, thanks a lot, Coach Lawson, and God bless you.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it, Cedric.